Today, I want to talk about the time I went through taking care of my cousin. I took care of him for 2.5 years. And after he passed away, his sons decided to take me to court, which was very interesting because he was estranged from his sons and had been estranged from them for quite a while. So when I found out about all of this, of course, it was upsetting and it was stressful. But I did what I had to do. So the first thing I got was 7 months after my cousin's death. I got a letter from a lawyer who was telling me that they needed to come pick up his car because somewhere you put property, while a will is being contested. And what I did was I gathered the information from where my cousin had transferred the title of his car to me. We had done it at the Cobb County DMV. I gave them the date. I gave them copies of all the materials for the transfer, and I sent it to the lawyer. So I thought, okay, we're done. Then about a year later, I get a letter about a hearing. I didn't know anything about a hearing. And so I called Cobb County Probate, and one of the clerks there was nice enough to tell me how to get the information that had been filed on behalf of the sons. So I was able to get that information. I copied everything that was in that file, and then I sat down and read it. So after I did that, I gathered the information that I had because I hadn't thrown away anything. I had every paper that had to do with my cousin and his medical issues, everything, and his wills. One of the things that the sons didn't know was that my cousin had disinherited them before he even came to Georgia to live with me for me to take care of him. They had no idea. But I had copies of the original will, the codicils to the will, and the second codicil to the will, which named me and my mother as his beneficiaries. They also wanted, one of the sons wanted to be named executor of the will, and I didn't understand that because an executor was named in the will. But anyway, when you look at all of the medical conditions that my cousin had, he had dialysis 3 times a week. Every other week, I had to take him for blood transfusions. He was diabetic. He had hypertension. He had some kind of blood disease, which was why he had to have the blood transfusions. But my schedule revolved around his doctor's appointments. I mean, those 2.5 years, I didn't mind it at all, but I did what I needed to do. He was family. And interestingly enough, I had never met his sons. I met one of them a few months before he died, um, but I'd never met the other two. So, anyway, if you ever run into a situation like this, I'm sure you already know that it's stressful and it's trying and it's time consuming. But if you take care of someone, whether they have a will or not, keep all your paperwork. Never throw anything away. Put that paperwork, where so you know where it is. I have copies of this is the paperwork that I saved. Everything that had to do with his medical conditions, with things that he had transferred to my name and things that he had signed over to me. And it turned out that they had wasted their time trying to contest the will because there was nothing for them to contest. Because in the meantime, he had signed his car over to me. He had made me co-owner of his bank accounts. So, and he didn't really have any property. He left all of his property in the state that he moved from. The only thing he brought with him was his TV, his bed, a dresser, some basic pieces of furniture. So there was nothing for them to get. And then this is the information that came from the Cobb County courthouse. This is all the stuff that I copied off of the Cobb County information that was in the courthouse. Just do what you need to do, take care of what you need to take care of. There's a saying, I've heard it over and over and over again, that no good deed goes unpunished. which I always thought that was crazy because I always thought, you do something nice for somebody, you shouldn't be punished for it. Well, that's not exactly the way it works. So if you take care of somebody and they want to leave you something, make sure all your ducks are in a row, take care of what you need to take care of, and do what you need to do.